You're listening to the Michael Baisden Show podcast.
Welcome to the Michael Baisden Show podcast. This is going to be I don't know if it's going to be difficult for people to have this conversation, but whenever you talk about the issue of insecurity, I don't know if this is a man thing. It is difficult.
It's a human thing. It's a human thing.
I think we're insecure about different things, Dominique. I think men are insecure when it comes to money and sex, and women are insecure many times when it comes to their looks and their weight. What do you say?
Yeah, that's true, because society tends to value men for what they have and women for how we look.
So you all stand by, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you all for the great calls calling into the show. We're going to get into it now, the podcast, Clingy and Insecure on the Michael Baisden Show. Kira's in the building from the GA. What's up, Kira? How you doing?
I'm doing great.
I'm sitting
in traffic, but I'm doing great.
Well, if you're going to be in traffic, you may as well be stuck with us. What's going on? So you admit that you're a clingy woman. Talk to me.
I am admitting that I am clingy. I started early on. Like, when we first started dating, he had to tell me that, hey, I'm getting off the phone with you. And he'd have to say, okay, Kira, you have a great day. And then afterwards, like a couple years later, after we fell in love, he better say, oh, I love you, Kira. And I say, oh, I love you too, Joe. And we do this, like, all the time. And if I FaceTime him, he better answer. And he answers every time. He's so used to it now, he'll turn his whole phone around just to make sure I know that there's nobody around him, there's nobody talking to him, there's nobody flirting with him, there's nobody trying to talk to him in the line, in the store. Oh, I don't play that. I'm very clingy because he's a great man.
Hold on, woman. Hold on. Go ahead, G-Dub. Can't believe
Are you serious?
She is serious, dude. Yes. She's serious.
Kira.
He loves me.
Yeah, I'm sure. He's probably scared of you as well, Kira. You do know that.
He might be, but, this is Georgia. There's a lot of beautiful women out here. You got to step your game up or you're going to step out.
Yeah, but stepping your game up shouldn't mean being that controlling. That is sort of controlling, don't you think?
No, it's not controlling because he does the same thing to me. When I'm at work, he'll call me and be like, hey, what are you doing? Okay. We'll have a normal conversation, and then towards the end, he'll say, I love you, and then I'll say it back to him. And if we're FaceTiming, he can see who I'm around.
No, I get it. It's double crazy. Hold on for me 1 second. It's double crazy, ladies and gentlemen. It's double crazy. Hey, Kira, thank you for calling. I appreciate your honesty, and it's double crazy. George was ready to go in hard on a G. Go ahead, man.
No, I wasn't going to go in hard. I just, to me, that's almost like a fairy tale. That's not even realistic. No disrespect to Kira. That ain't even realistic, that call to me.
It is, George.
Who thinks like that?
She does it, and he said that he does it to her as well, so they're both doing it to each other. Listen, man, for all the family out there, understand this. It's not controlling if the other person is condoning it, if the other person is doing it to you as well. That's a match made in heaven right there.
That's insecurity.
On both of their parts.
And that's all I was going to ask her. That how much is that does she think is love, and how much of that is she thinks is excitement and not insecurity.
Some people like the drama.
Let me tell you what she said.
I guess you're right, Tanisha.
Let me tell you what she said that I found very interesting. She said, "There's a lot of fine women in Atlanta, and you better step your game up. But why is stepping your game up checking in on your man more? Why isn't just stepping your game up when you're together as opposed to when you're not together? There are a lot of beautiful women in Atlanta. There's a lot of beautiful women in a lot of places. DC's got beautiful women. Miami got some fine women.
The world.
So I'm just wondering if this is what we come to now, that we become so insecure that we can't trust our partners. Not even let them go to the grocery store without having their phones turned around.
That's an extreme case. I think she's a unicorn, her and her man.
And
if he's doing the same thing, then who's living in that kind of world in this day and age when people need themselves to be themselves, and that's what going. No, who's going to be controlled like that?
And she made him scripted. He has to say, I love you this way.
That's
then
nuts,
that means
man.
It's not sincerity.
Check that out.
That's right.
Cassandra's on the line right now. When somebody says, do you miss me? It's the first thing in the morning. No, I haven't had a chance to have my cereal yet. Cassandra, what's up?
Just left.
I just left. Cassandra, how you doing?
I am fine, Michael. Hi, George.
Hey, what's up?
So what don't men get, Cassandra?
When men don't get that women have intuition. And if that man go to the market and she want to FaceTime, it's because she already knew when he walked out the door that he wasn't going directly to the market.
I don't get it.
Women aren't too clingy. They just have an intuitive nature, and they know when that man is about to do something, especially if he's lying, and she can feel it.
Cassandra.
What if you're wrong? Does that make you insecure?
How about that?
No, it's not going to make me
in
insecure.
In that one instant, that one instant when you thought he was going to the market and you thought he wasn't, and you FaceTime, you FaceTime, and he's at the market. Does that make you now not the intuition so keen, but you just insecure?
No, that just made him so he went to the market that time.
I don't, Cassandra, This is the thing. First of all, market. Teacher's going market yet. In Maryland, they say market. You better recognize, by the way. So, Cassandra, so you're going to have a long-term relationship where you're constantly checking up on somebody. So the clinginess is insecurity is what everybody seems to be saying right now, to me.
No, because after being married for 17 years, you know somebody.
Oh, my God.
And you know that's right. You know what they're going to do and what they're not going to do. Don't be stupid.
So the idea is to be, hold on, I got to wrap this up. You're trying to tell me after 17 years, you don't trust your man to go to the market without checking up on him after 17 years?
Oh, no, I wouldn't check up on him. I already know. There's no need for me to call.
Oh, my God.
I'm talking about those women who just say, hey, okay, he said he was going to the market. Well, let me FaceTime, and he don't answer.
Well, why should he? I'm not answering the phone. I can't wait to hear the rest of these calls. Hit us up on the Michael Bader Show. Too clingy, too needy, too dependent, and it sounds to me too crazy. Call in, Ron. It's the Michael Bader Show. Got my girl Denise on out of Florida. What's going on, Denise? We're talking about being clingy and needy. Talk to me.
Hi. Oh, I swear I'm tired of clingy people. I don't have to worry about that no more because I'm married, but I remember dating guys. They would put their phone number on a picture that they had in the house, talking about, you're not going to ever lose my number. They going to move in. I had to put some serial killer books around my tub one time to throw somebody away. I'm like, God dang. That's when I started realizing you can't get the goods to everybody because once they get it, now they think everybody else messing with you.
You know what? Remember, George, we talked about the kapaya?
Yeah.
What do you call it? You call it deluxe in George.
Yeah, when you deluxe.
Can you explain
love.
that as clean as you can for the radio
Deluxe
family,
love. I mean, that's when you go all out. If you know you're rambunctious in the bedroom, then and you're just starting to have engagement with a person, then you might not want to sprue all of it out at one time.
Ration out the freak is what you're saying. Excuse me, ladies and gentlemen. Ration the freak according to George.
Everybody can't handle the whole dosage at one time. You got to water it down. You got to cut it a little bit.
So, Denise, did you finally get past that? You finally got married and your man is secure now. You don't have a clingy and needy man, correct?
Oh, thank you, Jesus. That's why I married him, because he let me breathe.
Yeah.
Other people, I would have had to choose between the career or either making them happy.
Let me tell you, she's not joking around. Some people are so possessive, so insecure, they want to be in contact all day. Let me just say this to everybody listening, man. Life is too short. We're too busy. We got kids. We got sick parents. We got jobs. We got school. You got to have a person that knows how to be alone without you and not blowing you up and making your life miserable, calling it love. I had women who I've dated throughout my life, and I didn't really like the call the first thing in the morning. I really didn't, because in the morning, I'm focused on work.
So you don't like them to call in the morning, and I remember you saying you don't like them calling in midday. You hate when they call in the afternoon, and they better not bother you in the evening. So when the hell do they get to call you?
He wants a call girl.
No. Let me say this. Let me say this, and Tanisha, you can tell me a story about your friend who's blowing you up right now hearing us talking about this topic. All I'm saying is when I wake up in the morning, I got a rhythm to my day. I don't mind texting you good morning and just being able to keep it simple. But having these long, drawn-out conversations first thing in the morning, I'm trying to go in the morning. Go ahead, Tanisha. What's going on?
So my friend Dee, her issue is that her girlfriend doesn't call her at least once a day. She just wants a call once a day.
This is with a girlfriend?
Yeah, with her girlfriend. Mm-hmm.
She lesbian?
Yes, if it's her girlfriend.
Well, I thought she meant maybe her girlfriend.
No,
you never know.
Her woman. They're together. So she's saying, can you just take like 5 minutes, 10 minutes out of your day? She was like, but it makes it seem like she's needy, but I think that's needed.
I don't want to feel, let me say, I know a lot of people are listening, so I like to choose my words carefully. George makes me sound like an ogre, but I'm not. I don't want to feel obligated to call you every morning. Obligated. Now, if I decide to do it, that's up to me to give you a call and say, how you doing, baby?
That's
I just want to say good morning. I don't want to feel an obligation.
I don't think that's ogreish. You do a lot of ogreish stuff. That's not one of them. George. All right? There's nothing wrong with that.
So if I text you, that should be enough. If I have time to call you, it should be based on my schedule, just like I don't need you to call me and talk to me for a half hour in the morning.
But for some people, if you don't want to talk to me and you go whole day, you don't need to hear my voice or anything, then that has something to do with affection and compatibility and the
Ladies
love
and gentlemen,
aspect.
tell me what you think. Hit us up on the Michael Baden Show. show. This is why a lot of people just push back from relationships. Once they're out,
say good morning.
they want to stay out.
Damn.
Call us up. Hit us
Text.
up. Listen to Based in Nation on
Emoji.
your
Smiley face.
For me, it's a little scary. I got to be honest with you, Mary, because I feel like it can graduate to something more serious. What do you say, Mary?
Stalkerish.
Yep.
I just want to say that I love my boyfriend, but the constant calling when I'm at work, like I work in retail, so I just can't answer my phone every time you're calling me. You know, I appreciate the fact that you might miss me, but, it's just something I can't do. And you leaving a message like, why aren't you answering the phone? Hello, I'm at work.
Yeah.
What happens? What happens, Mary, when you try to have a civil conversation with him and simply say to him what you just said to us?
I'm a Cancer, so I don't like to have conflict. So I just take it for what it is. I try to answer.
So when you say to him simply, I don't know what his name is. I don't know if you want to put his name out there. You say, John, I'm working. Please don't call me at work. Text me, and if I can get back to you, I'll call you. What is his response to a very simple request like that?
He doesn't understand because he's never worked in retail.
Okay, now I got to get to this point. I'm sorry to cut you off. And Tanisha and I were just having this conversation. Doesn't that mean you're incompatible with him?
I don't think so. I think there's more pluses than this one, semi.
But you called into the show. It was such an issue that you called in. Obviously, if he's not willing to respect, to me, that's not respecting your time and certainly not respecting your job, which is very important. Look, we're going to take more of your calls.
She might not feel that way.
Well, she does, but she doesn't. Right, because she's still with the guy. Hey, call in right now. This is a very serious issue for many of us. I don't know what it is about people that they cannot give you space. We can call it insecurity. Some of y'all can call it love and affection. I call it a problem waiting to happen, and a situation that's going to get worse in most cases. Maria, what's going on, lady? How are you?
I'm not too bad. I was just listening to your show and kind of got some insight on the fact I'm about to be divorced after 13 years for being too clingy.
Wow. You're willing to admit that. How are you too clingy?
I like to be at my husband's all the time, apparently.
How did that end the relationship? And this is a serious thing. He let you go because you were up under him all the time.
Yeah, I didn't let him go enough places, do enough things. We started off in the beginning of the marriage always both wanting to be together, but then at some point in time he decided he wanted space and distance, and I didn't give it to him.
How come you didn't love him enough to give him the space if you all had a good relationship?
And does that make her clingy?
Insecurity from past relationships.
She's willing to admit it.
Yeah,
My daughter's father cheated on me with a man and a woman.
Maria, hold on for me for a second, and thank you for admitting that. And I don't know if you're going to continue to be this person. Have you changed? Have you improved so it doesn't happen again?
I am definitely working on improving, and thanks to your show today, I got a little more insight on how to do so.
Wow,
so
that's awesome.
No, thank you for calling in and admitting that. I want to talk to you guys off the air about something that's very serious. Maria, thank you so much to let me know the show is making a difference. That's what we do. It's Grown Folks Radio. Young folks got their radio station. This way, grown folks get their substance. George and Tanisha, sometimes when I'm talking, I'm going so fast. I got time I'm looking at. We got music going on. What did I miss in that call that you all told me that she said that I missed?
She said she was cheated on, and the person cheated on her with a boy and a girl.
And a girl.
So you think a lot of this. I wonder how many people, when they meet each other, they talk about whether or not their partner's been cheated on before so they can understand where the insecurity is coming from. Because anytime anybody tells you to FaceTime them, I told you about my female friend whose husband said, FaceTime me when you go to the grocery store. Now, don't get me wrong. She's fine. She's bad. But there's a lot of beautiful women that men don't stalk and tell them to use their FaceTime when they're at the grocery store. Ladies and gentlemen, how do you all sustain relationships like this?
And
Go ahead,
a lot of
G.
times you don't. And that's why that lady, she said now her eyes are open and she's looking and she's at herself in a different light. But now she's lost the love of her life, before all that happened. So maybe we need to take a look and see if we can let the person be themselves before we lose them.
True that.
I told my friend, I said, the person you're with, they need to be compatible with you emotionally, meaning that they can be patient with your story, because all of us have a story. If they can be patient with your story and understand that you have insecurities, that's good. But if they can't, then walk
know that
away.
your story may change. She
How
said
about
that they started out with both of them being like the same way.
Good one.
You know,
True.
so how does she end up saying, because she was willing to live their whole life that way and he wasn't? I don't see how that makes her all the way needy. She had the right person for a long time.
But she did not evolve the way he evolved, and they did not adapt to each other. Hey, Brian, is there any zodiac signs that you know of in your experience that's more clingy than other signs? Be honest with me, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah, them Virgos, man.
Virgo.
Because I'm an Aries, too. So y'all want to talk about them Aries. I'm an Aries, too. And I agree with you 100% that, you know, the guys, it take us a little bit longer to love, but when we do love, we give you a 400. So we don't need you calling, checking up, texting, do you still love me? Are you cheating? Blah, blah, blah.
So, Brian, George said it was the men more than the women, and you agree, since the men, it takes us longer to get there. Once we're there, you think we can be a little more crazy?
I mean, I'm going to do it, and once I know that we going there, I'm going to go all out for mine.
He sounds
Yeah.
George?
Yeah, sound like it.
Sound like it, doesn't he?
He outside her job right now. She just got to work. He out there all right.
Brian, thanks for calling, man, and thanks for your honesty, and thanks for listening to the Michael Page Show.
He dropped off and waiting on her.
He did not.
8 hours.
Thanks, Brian. Dr. G, how you doing?
Oh, I'm okay. How you doing,
man? They are so wrong in the studio. So before you answer the question, which zodiac sign, in your opinion, is the most clingy and needy and codependent?
Gee, it depends on what day it is.
All of them.
It really depends. It's all subjective.
So what's your comment about being too clingy and needy?
As a psychologist, I'm going to give you third-party confirmation. If a person accuses you of something, they are normally guilty of the accusation. And if you just sit back, you'll get the information. Part two is that if you're sitting back watching for it and pursuing it, it won't happen. Just sit back and relax. It will come to you.
So,
guaranteed.
Do you study this as a doctor of psychology? What do you find is the reason why people are so needy and clingy?
It's not just the clingy part. It's a lot of times a woman never understands real love until they get in relationships because they never had it with their father. The first man that a woman should experience love from is going to be her father. And when she doesn't get that, she goes out in the world and she confuses the sexual contact with love.
Yes.
And how does that relate to her not being able to give the man space?
She has to be confirmed in, I am worthy because I didn't get it from my father. I'm looking for it, and I'm confusing this sexual contact with the love I never got.
So the sexual contact is a reason why she's clingy. It's not just the relationship. But I've had women who've been that way before any intimacy.
They're still craving it. It's in the mind. Now, if the mind says it, the body wants to act on it. So even if you don't have the physical contact, your body is thinking that because your mind has already said it.
Dr. G, way to put it down, man. I do believe that has some bearing on it. You know, this is a very important topic as we consider relationships. Those of us who are single, you have to ask yourself how much time and how much emotional energy is that person going to take? I've been fortunate to date women who I think personally must have a lot of testosterone because they really understand me and give me a lot of space. Really, I do believe that some women have more testosterone than other women, and I think they're more understanding.
You're dating men with testosterone?
No, dude. Come on, man. I'm just saying. Women who are not as emotional and more practical
I
in their
think
thinking.
they just had a different story. For me personally, my dad wasn't there when I was younger, and I felt rejected. So sometimes as women with fatherless women, we want to look for a man to fill that void our fathers weren't there for. So for me, when I looked at my husband, I put him on a pedestal. He was my knight in shining armor, and I wanted him to always be there the way my father wasn't.
You know, but this is the thing, and that's deep, too, because you also said because the father is always present, right? And so with my daughter, we never talk, right? I mean, my daughter and I can go, weeks sometime without talking. We'll chat and we'll email, and then the next time we talk, it's like, hey, girl, it's like we just talked. But for me, I've dated women who've had their fathers, and they were still needy and still clingy. I think there's so many variables to this thing, man. You got to have a conversation about people's past and people's needs.
Were the fathers physically there? Talk physical, but were they emotionally there too?
Yes, I mean, who had really good dads, but sometimes... Go ahead,
and we
G.
just rely on other people to fulfill a lot of things that we should be fulfilling ourselves.
Yes, dude.
And it's uncomfortable to say, but it's really true.
That's what I'm talking about. That's a good point, G-Dub. Continue to blow us up. I got my man Johnny on the line. What's up, Johnny? How you doing?
I'm blessed and highly favored of the Lord.
Okay, Johnny said you got to hear this. Go ahead, man.
Listen, I want to comment on y'all topic about somebody being clingy. I was 15 years old, 10th grade. I'm a gay black male here in Daytona Beach, Florida. I'm keeping it real. And this real radio.
That's right.
Grown folks. I'm gay. Been gay as long as I can know. Was dating this guy. He was like 22, 25. My mom didn't even know.
Right.
This was, my bad. This dude was
we ain't that real.
Look, this dude was so clingy. He called my phone. I didn't answer. Called the house phone. I didn't answer. I had to be to school at 6 o'clock in the morning. Got to be up at 5. Right. He drove up in my driveway 3 o'clock in the morning. Said, if I don't get up, I'm going to lay on the horn. Your mama, your daddy, and your sisters and brothers, everybody finna find out. This dude was so clingy. He will ride around and see me with my homeboys, like my friends.
Yeah.
He stopped one of them and tried to jump on the dude. Because me and the dude just sitting there just chilling.
So wait a minute, Johnny. This before anybody knew about your lifestyle.
This before anybody knew about my lifestyle.
He was trying to blow you up, dude.
He was trying to blow me up because he had been blown up by whoever. We used to go to this park on Sundays. He would ride by me just to let me know I see you. And when you get home, it's on. When I got home,
go ahead,
he threatened me. He would threaten me.
Go ahead.
First of all, we already knew he was crazy because what was a 25-year-old doing messing with a 15-year-old?
He should. That's why he didn't want nobody to know because he know he would have got statutory rape.
He went to jail is what he would have did.
He was crazy and inappropriate, Johnny. You do know that.
He was crazy and inappropriate, yes.
Thank you for calling in from Daytona, man. I appreciate you.
Johnny, for real, be good.
look, hey, y'all, look. And if I can't be good, I'm going to be good at it.
Oh, way to go, Johnny. Lynette's on the line. What part of Florida are you calling us from, Lynette?
I am calling from Central Florida.
Can you be more specific?
Okay, I live in Winter Haven, Florida, out of Central Florida.
That's what I'm talking
and
about,
that's where I'm calling from.
Woo! A lot of clingy women in Central Florida.
Represent Winter Haven.
So what's going on? They clingy down there too, huh?
Well, it's not necessarily they're clingy, and I think that relationships differ, and I think that there's different times in relationships that people cling. I believe that when you start a relationship, you're both all about each other, and then you get comfortable and you start taking things for granted, and maybe the other one is looking for affirmation in ways that the other one's not sure why.
Yeah.
And so they're confused and they think that they're needy and they push them away even more. And then
George.
I'm not. I'm
yes,
not, but I am very much an adult, and I'm very much not into games. So
that's right.
Either you're in it 100.
So what you call it, very involved?
Okay.
That's what you name
Here's the point that I want to make, Lynette, that I was making with Tanisha. And women always, and not women, I don't want to generalize like that. I never want to be that kind of host. Many people believe that the person that you start being in a relationship, you should continue to be. And what George and I said was, it's different when you're just getting to meet someone. Obviously, there's more levels of excitement that may taper off a little bit. So you can't have the same levels sometimes, many times, of when you first met. And I don't want that to be held against me if I still care about you.
Right, that's true. I will say this. I have grandparents that were married 68 years, and I asked them what the key was, and they said that you never lose sight of the beginning. You always keep, there's some kind of spunkiness, some kind of hope, some kind of affirmation. My grandfather at 91 still kisses my grandmother that's 90 every morning that he wakes up.
I'll kiss you.
They're 90.
Okay. George, I'm
They're 90.
All right, George.
Okay.
Lynette, hold on. Everybody hold on. George.
Okay.
George.
You got at least 10 years before you get there.
Thank you, Lynette. Thank you for calling. We appreciate you calling to the Michael Baden Show. You were wonderful. Take care, Lynette.
Thanks, Lynette.
Nelson, what's going down? Thank you for holding, man. Thank you for your patience.
No problem, McMahon. I was just calling in to let you know I want somebody who wants me but don't need me. And if you're too young to understand that, then you're not the type of woman I need in my life.
Well, why don't you explain it to our listeners out there who are listening all over the world? Go ahead.
All right. My thing is, look at it like this. I need really two things in life. Being in the Marine Corps, I needed to depend on God, and I need air to live. Mm-hmm. Everything else is a want. You look at it like this. When I got married, my wife made it close to $100,000 a year. I was a car salesman. I didn't have anything I could do for this woman. She got with me because she wanted me, not because she needed me. And we've been married for 7 years now and happily married with 3 kids. I've dated people who needed me. First time you get together, I need my water bill paid. My rent can be turned off. My electricity. I don't need a meter. I need a wanter.
Word. Thank you so much, Nelson, man. Thank you for breaking it down for us. I agree with you 100%, man. Where you listening from?
I'm listening from Bud-Austin, Georgia, man. I listen to y'all every day on the ride home, and y'all are awesome. I love the fact that you get into deep conversations about more than simple stuff. You get into conversations telling people how to look at different things in life. But right now, man, we've got to have some positivity in this world.
Thank you so much, Nelson. Brother. Hey, thank you all for listening to the Michael Baisden Show podcast. Don't forget to join me on Michael Baisden Live and Michael Baisden Show on Facebook, and Baisden Live on Twitter, and Baisden Live on Instagram, BAISDEN. How can they reach out to you, G-Dub?
The stress reliever.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that would be the stress reliever on Instagram. Dominique, the prima lady. Okay, it's Dominique's turn, George. Dominique, how do they reach out to you on social media?
On all the social media, it's Diprima Radio, DIPRIMA Radio. See you there.
Hey, thank you all for tuning in to the Michael Baisden Show podcast.
Thanks for listening to the Michael Baisden Show podcast.